Special Hari Om to every one of you. That's so ironical as well when I say special Hari Om. Because Hari, you invoke the Lord, and you say special Hari Om, special invocations of the Lord to each one of you. When you already invoke the Lord, think about how precise the Rishi tradition was when it gave these. When you say morning, what I mean, it doesn't bring any type of auspiciousness to you. Hari Om, you call Hari's name, and then you say Om. So even if it is that somebody do hear one time, right, and you tell them next time, Hari Om, that goes into the Akashic records, and it also divinizes the place as well. And sometime during today, I was thinking how much our ancestors, meaning those who would have crossed from India to here, would have sacrificed for us to be where we are today. And many of us would know that coming through the cane fields and the amount of challenges they would have had to provide economically, to provide education. And today I want to start with asking that very important question. What is education? And what is wisdom? Do we feel educated? And I remember even Puja Gurudev Swamiji saying several times that our ancestors may not have been schooled formally, but they were educated. And it brings me to one other question. If education brings happiness, then everybody that would have finished their degree program, their master's program, should be happy. The question is, are we happy? And then if happiness is not to be found in formal education, then where is it to be found? And we are seeing the names of our Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya, and he and we really believe that it's your birthright to be happy. You're supposed to be smiling wherever you go. Some people may call you crazy, but that's okay. Sometimes I know one good way to practice this. You go in front of the mirror as soon as you go for the satsang, and you give yourself 3 smiles. First smile is for where you have been, the past, seeming past according to Vedanta, where you are now, and then where you are going in the future. And on the day previous to this, we were seeing one name of Puja Gurudev, Om Anandaya Namaha. And today we will start chant those 2 names and then see the other name. Om Anandaya Namaha.
Om
Salutations to the blissful
Namaha.
Om Atma Swarupaya Namaha. Salutations to the one who is in nature of self.
Namaha.
Om Angla Bhasha Viduttamaya Namaha.
Om Angla Bhasha Viduttamaya Namaha.
Our Puja Gurudev operated out of happiness. You know, sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, these countries have so many things happening. And you go to different places because you feel when you go there, you'll get happiness. But he operated from the beginning of his... You know who one other person that I see real happy as well? Especially when he ashram is Mr. Bihari. And today Mr. Bihari is straight down to the back. But I don't know the light, not that well. But from where I can see here, he also smiling as well. being a disciple of that great master, and to recognize his presence and ask for his blessings as well. But one of the things that we're looking at here is that Swami Chinmaya Angla Bhasha Viduttama Nama, one who was the best knowers of English. See, a Mahatma talking in scriptures and telling about English. Taught everything. Anytime I ask anybody about studying the Gita, they say they don't know Sanskrit. So it means that you need to know Sanskrit to study Gita. I too also too. When I sit down with the Gita a long time and I start to read, I sleep away one time. As soon as, like, if you want to sleep, you pick up the Gita. I'm telling you, on a Saturday and Sunday and thing, when it is that, I'm telling you, that real treaty. When it is that, and that's the importance of a guru. And that's where we pay our Shatkoti Pranams to that guru. And you can see the thread of his sharing knowledge, even from the time pre-sannyas. Our guru, you may not know his story, but he was an editor. And when he was to write as well, he used to write on social issues. And that's a very important and revealing thing as well. Wherever we are placed in life, whatever your job may be, in that job, you can help people. You can make a difference. Look, we have so many doctors here. And anytime that they get a chance, they just want to treat me for something or the other. And that's where they use their knowledge for some sort of helping the evolution within the society. And Puja Gurudev, when he started, in him was that thirst to share what he knew with others. And, you know, even our ancestors as well, I remember growing up, and even though I would go by I'll come home, I'll check my pot first, right? And then I'll go by the neighbor and check their pot. Because the quality of sharing was once there in the society. Puja Gurudev shared something that very few people will share. He shared knowledge. And you find sometimes if I know some secret, and you find this also in the IT industry, if I discover some software, and you know there was this thing with Bill Gates and Steve Jobs long ago, where one discovered something and the other person wasn't willing to share. And whatever I shared now, even now, it has a price for me sharing my knowledge. But think about a man who studied the Gita. Our Guruji Swami Prakashananda Ji as well has done this as well. Our Guruji Swami Tejaman, the head of Chinmaya Mission, Swamiji Puja Swami Prakashananda Ji. Think about sharing something without asking for anything in return. And that's true sharing. That's sattvic sharing. Tamasic sharing is, you know what? I share something and then I look for something back in return. That's not sharing, that's business. Once our Puja Gurudev, to tell you how much he shared this knowledge, he in all our yajnas, when we do very long yajnas, the tradition is that you give a gift of love to the teacher who would have given the knowledge to continue his work. And like, I remember Swami speaking on one of the previous nights and saying that it costs $20,000 to feed a brahmachari. And he talking about regular size brahmachari. I couldn't help it though. When I think of my size and feeding me, after the satsang I asked them, the brahmacharis was with me, I say, what do you think will be the cost for me? And there is the giving of love at the end of our satsangs, right? So Puja Gurudev, the penultimate night, the night before it finishes, we normally would give out the envelope. And what a precision in this Mahatma. The organizers of that yajna didn't remember to give out the envelope. And that's why I think that some of our Hindu organizations, especially Chinmaya Mission, there may be others as well, are really poised to teach Hindu temple management to people as well. to lift the standard of the temples in the country as well. What he did, so if today was a penultimate night, they would have put envelopes on all. When Puja Gurudev sat here to speak on the giving of love to help the work of the mission, in whichever way, so many projects, he didn't see an envelope. And Gurudev left that Yagnashala without $1. Think. Puja Gurudev studied in Sanskrit and Hindi from Swami Tapovanji Maharaj. He woke up 4 o'clock in the morning and he used to sit and transcribe those notes himself. And in his later years, even when we had 100 days yajna, you know what it is for 100? Or we will know after this one. But 100 days of yajna, I tell you, sometimes when I drag in myself to come out my room, I say, but wait now, how Swamiji, they must do this thing, man? 100 days. So after every single night, and we're talking about 5, 10 people, 1,000 people, and then sometimes he'd bless people as well, meet people afterwards. He had the ability to then sit down the night, and you can just go on Google Swami Chinmaya writing letters to devotees. When you leave here and see. Till what hour in the night he was writing letters. No internet and email. Sometimes we find it so hard to respond to a message from somebody as well. But think about his love and a physical expression of love. And he would reply that time in the night, and then he'll get up at 4 in the morning, drink 1 cup of tea, and then start again. One place he went to, he left India and he went to the abroad. This name could take me, I feel I should start wrapping up. Because my run rate's slow. I don't think, right? Swamiji will ever allow me to bat in his 108 nights again. Because I only cover in 2-3 every night as well. But back to Gurudev. Yes. Alright, so what happened is that he went to Canada, the States, and as soon as he reached, he asked them if the puja samagri is there. We have Baba in front of me. Puja samagri is materials used to do homa and havan and things, so the ghee and the honey and the sugar and all those things. I said, Gurudev, puja samagri? He said, yeah. He come with the rush and they're going to figure out what it is and try to get some. When he done, he said, where's my pen and my paper and a lamp? Just to share. So if that Mahatma of a caliber like that shares knowledge like this, just for the joy of sharing. You know, courses coming up in November, or Vedanta course for 2 years. And at the end of the course, there's nothing that the Guru asks from you than to go out and share this knowledge. When Gurudev started this work, people said your tongue will fall out because you are giving the sastras not in Sanskrit. Think. The traditional pundits of that time. Think about the love he had for people. One of the things about Gurudev is how concise, precise. You go into Gurudev's, when we stayed in India, in the ashram there, in his kutia, you would see him having a wide array of books. Why he was reading all these books, So that when he was talking to doctors and lawyers and politicians, he could have identified with them from where they were. To that, Puja Gurudev, we give our prostrations and salutations, and we ask that may we also be able to be somehow a carrier of that great knowledge. Okay, so we are at chapter 2, verse 19 of the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2, verse 19, right? We finished 19. So we will chant from 18. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
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 Ya enam vidhantaram yaschainam manyate hatam.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Ubodona janita nayam hanti nahanyate.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Chandra Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Our Puja Swami Prakashananda ji has decided to do an offering to Puja Gurudev, and I think also an offering to this land as well, by doing the entire of the Gita in 108 days. And where we left it on last day would have been somewhere at 20, but I just want to recap a little bit from 18. And here we have Sri Krishna urging Arjuna to fight. And he says, Ya enam veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam obauto na vijanita nayam hanti nanyate. He says, know that this Atma, so there is the body, physical body, then there is the jiva, that which leaves the body at the time of death, and then there's the Atma. He says, know that oboto na vijanita nayam hanti nanyate. He says that the Atma doesn't have the ability to kill or to be killed. And here the qualities or the indication of the Atma, because Atma can't have qualities as well. Because if Atma has qualities, then it becomes something that could be known by its characteristics. So here we are giving an idea of our true nature. And he's saying when you identify with your true nature, because this is taking place in a battlefield. So Shri Krishna is giving him the highest philosophical knowledge and using the language of the battlefield to give it to him. And he's saying that there could be no doership when he uses that killing. Meaning there could be no doership. You can do an action as the Atma, as your most purest, subtle aspect of your personality, as your body. If you identify with the body, you can do some work. If it is you identify with your mind and your intellect, you could think with your mind, you could cry all the time if somebody tells you something. Or you could revel in some lovely poetry, Shakespeare or something, and you revel and you close your eyes, right? And you do like that, right? Or some people are very good at poetry, so you can revel at that. But what it says is that from the intellect, you can revel in intellectual debates, or you can try to sit down and look at the metaphysical aspect of the universe and try to take an atom apart, or try to figure out cosmic events and what would have happened 1500 years ago, the probability of it happening now, and apply your intellect. But he says there's one part of your personality called the Atma. The Atma which looks even at all these things happening, but is not affected by the happenings. And here he is saying the Atma is likened to a non-doer. Is there anything in the world that doesn't do anything? And he says, if you think about the space, everything happens in the space, but the space itself doesn't get affected. So the moon and the galaxies, everything move in space, but the space isn't affected. So the same way, there are actions happening outside, but I, in my essential nature, in my most subtlest nature, isn't affected by whatever happens. So when I act outside, I should identify with the subtlest aspect. And Swamiji has a very nice example he used. He said Gabbar Singh, right? When Gabbar Singh fighting Amitabh Bachchan on the, I thought it be on in the movie, and people crying and things and say, oh God, Amitabh Bachchan dead, because they shoot and then hit him a jump kick and you hear pow. You know how the action movies go to the noise like that. So these people on radio and they can't hear what we're doing, see what we're doing. They would have to come to such. Yeah. So what happened is, when we believe that Amitabh Bachchan dies in that movie and Gabbar Singh won, the villain won. Although the brother is normally Amitabh Bachchan is have a little friend who's come and his son or something or come and win anyway. But that's in that reality there. But he's saying that the screen, we'll show Gurudev's trailer in a little while, and that's the screen. The screen itself doesn't get affected anyway by whatever is happening or seemingly happening on the projection. So where it is that, so in the same way, if a good person comes to you and a bad person comes to you, their essential nature, which is the Atma, is no way affected. So this person can be a serial killer. Why do they call him serial killer? It have nothing to do with conflicts, right? Alright. Somebody tell me that's a lame joke. Okay, what happened, right, is that there isn't any activity, no sense of doership in that Atma. So here, this is where we reach, where Shri Krishna is saying, if you identify, if you understand the Atma, as the Tattvadarshis, those before you would have understood or seen or recognized that Atma, then there's no need to worry. And there's a very beautiful reference given in the Bhagavatam of somebody by the name of Durvasa Rishi. Durvasa Rishi was meditating on the banks of the Yamuna. Close his eyes and in meditation. Some gopis came across. But Durvasa Rishi has a track record. You know hothead? Some people hot-headed in life as well. I was wondering them related to Durvasa Rishi. In the course in Mumbai, we had a brahmachari we used to call Durvasa Ji. Because that fellow was going to expect anything. But that's also an interesting development in terms of you can evolve to a certain level, but you may still have certain traces of things of the world, even though you are realized Mahatma. And Durvasa Rishi was one of those realized Mahatmas, Tattvadarshi, who saw the Atma in all, know the Atma in him is the Atma in everybody else, right? So Durvasa was sitting there in meditation. So the gopis wanted to go across the other side of the Yamuna, because they wanted to meet, who they wanted to meet? Krishna. And they asked Durvasa how they could go, because the rain was there. The river also was in spate. It was filled with water, right? So again, some help from Pandit here. So what happened is that it was difficult to cross. So the gopis asked, if Durvasa help me now. But you know those rishis and munis, they're always hungry. Wherever they go, they eat 2 meals of food. So Durvasa Rishi said, give me something to eat. And he was given 2 fruits, 2-3 fruits by the gopis. And he says, you take this one mantra in your mind. It wasn't given in English. He says, if I didn't eat anything, then may the Yamuna open and allow you to pass. And the Yamuna gave that gift of the gopis going across. So they went and they had Raslila with Krishna, that celestial dance. So they danced with Krishna. They went in the morning, they come back in the evening time. And when they were returning now, the river was still filled with water. So they went back to Krishna. And he said, and Krishna told him that if it is that I did not engage in any action for the entire day, then allow the Yamuna to give way. And Yamuna gave way. So here, a very important point. And Swami Prakashanandaji says, he says if you study chapter 2, the entire philosophy of the Gita is given. Here non-doership is spoken about. And non-enjoyship as well. So one who studies the Gita, even to do their own duty wherever they are placed, na hantaram Nayam hanti na hanyati. And we can take out that hanti, kills or cause to be killed, and use any other thing there. Means I don't cook, neither do I eat. I don't walk, or I don't cause anybody to walk. I don't sing. He's saying here that is our birthright. That is what we need to realize. So, he continues to describe, Krishna continues to describe this Atma that was realized by these great souls and that we also need to realize. Najayate mriyate va kadachita
Jayate mriyate va kadachit
Nayam bhutva bhavitava na bhuyaha
Mayam bhutva bhavitaya na bhuyaha
Ajo nitya shashvato yam puranaha
Ajo nitya shashvato yam puranaha
Nahanyate hanyamane sharire
Nahanyate hanyamane sharire
Najayate. At no point in time you were born. You never had birth. Imagine Arjuna face. When Krishna is telling him, and he knows himself to be how much ever years old, he says, you were never born. In your truest sense, in your identity with Atma, there can never be birth. And why there can never be birth is because if there's birth of Atma, that which enlivens all things, that which allows all things to function in the way that they do, then something would have been there prior to Atma's birth. And what would have been that thing? So then Atma wouldn't have been the most subtlest thing in the universe. Atma wouldn't have been the first thing in the universe as well. So he's saying, Najayate namriyate. And if there's birth, everybody know that even if you buy a bottle of jam, February coming up, buy jam. If you buy a bottle of jam, right? That comes with a date that it is made, and also it expires. So he says this sense of coming into being at any particular time in the Atma is not there. And also the sense of also destruction is not there in the Atma. Najayate mriyate va kadachit. And not that the Atma is born at some times. And what he's doing here is he is refuting some of the claims of other schools of thoughts. Because some schools of thought indicate that the one thing, whether you call it God in its most absolute aspect, or Atma, they say sometimes the Atma is born, and then sometimes the Atma also dies. So your Atma is born and dies. So it says, Na jayate mriyate vakadachat nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya. Or is not having something come into existence. So it comes into existence and then it stays for a while and then it disappears. So one is that Krishna is refuting the fact that there's any birth in your most essential nature. There's only death in your most essential nature. And also the fact that your Atma may have come into being, and then at some point in time later on, 30, 40, 50, 1,000 years from now, there will be the death of the Atma. He says, and there are several other aspects of Ajaha. In terms of, if it is that the Atma, which is the cause, is the subtlest thing in the universe, then there cannot be any other cause for the Atma. The Atma must be as if the first cause of all other things. If I ask the question, if there was anybody else before God, from the aspect of devotion. If there was anybody else before God was there as a embodied being, then that person would be God. Because if the person prior to him will have more knowledge, he will be more stronger. He would most likely have seen more as well, more power. Most likely he will be more subtle. And he'll have an influence over God. So he's saying that there's only one thing that has been there in the universe, and it's unborn, and there's no death. And it says, Nityaha. That Atma that you are is, always was, always is, and always will be. Think about that. Haitya physics. Because you are always there. You as a being, you see yourself as this little teeny weeny person that you think in 50, 60 years time that you wouldn't be. Or you think about yourself as this chubby person who taking up 2 seats in a car. and that's what your limit of yourself is. And here Krishna is saying that you are much more than that. You are that which enlivens the very moon and stars and the entire universe itself. That's what he's saying. You know, it's one thing to hear it, but it's another thing to rest in it. You see, any object, if it's not eternal, changes in time. And anything that changes will one day be destroyed. So if your Atma isn't eternal, if that thing that enlivens every other function of your being isn't eternal, then it changes. And if it changes, it will die. And then you, but at some point in time, you will die. You see, destruction is also possible in 2 ways. One is that, when there's a person standing up here and then after some time, he leaves the world. He said that he dies. So it is destruction, total destruction of that physical being. Or there was once a zabuka tree. And the zabuka tree, he will give me zabuka and thing, neighbor to us to get zabuka from the zabuka tree. And then one day the zabuka tree, there was a thief the zabuka to when I wasn't home. But then one day that zabuka tree just dies. So as if it becomes non-existent, a final non-existence of that thing. That's one way it could be destroyed. Right? I don't like zabuka boy. And so you're destroyed. So the fact is that then in that sense, you will not be nitya. So he's saying is that there's never a final destruction for the Atma. And the previous night I was saying, no nuclear weapons, no world war can destroy the Atma. And it says destruction is also possible in another way. Another way in the sense that the earth is there. And in the earth, you will find that the Himalayas were there. And you say, but this place a change at all. From the time my grandfathers were here, the earth seems to be the same. But in the earth itself, there are changes in the earth. And scientists have proved that at some point in time, or they do carbon dating and go till whenever, how many millions years back. Right? But they also prove that at some point in time, the earth in its present form will not be what it is. So there is not a final destruction for the Atma, or neither is there an eventual, slow, gradual change in the Atma. Shashvataha. The Atma is changeless. Meaning, no changes happens in the Atma. Also, no changes happening yourself as well. That's a very fulfilling thing for me when I study this verse there. Because even if I eat a few more doubles, there will be no change in my Atma. It becomes, it says there's the substratum, the Atma is the substratum of all things. And if there could be no change. For instance, imagine if I was speaking on the stage and the stage was moving. Could there be any activity on the stage? Imagine somebody trying to dance and this side of the stage moving and that side of the stage moving as well. Imagine doing a ballet and you're moving gracefully from one side to the other of the stage. Would anything be possible? So he's saying that whatever you see possible in front of you, whatever stability you see in your life, is because the Atma is changeless. So there's no birth of the Atma, there's no growth in the Atma, so the Atma is not born in 2000 BC, and then at that time, then it starts to grow a little bit, so the Atma becomes so much big, and then the Atma will cure one day, and the Atma will then decay, and the Atma will then die. So here in this particular verse, when the word Shashvataha is indicated, that is what is being told. Puranaha. The Atma is the most ancient, because the Atma was the first thing. So if I tell you you're a little bit old, don't feel bad, tell me you use the Atma. Because you are the first thing that was there for every other thing to take place. And even though it's old in the sense of, there's a beautiful etymological meaning that could be taken from the word Purana, which means even though it's old, it's very much new as well. So even though you find that the Atma is the thing that was there from whenever, it also allows so many new things to happen in its presence. This Atma, the main point here is that the Atma never was born, never dies. It didn't come into being at any point in time. There are no type of modifications in the Atma whatsoever. The verse 21 says, Veda vinashinam nityam.
Veda vinashinam nityam.
Veda vinashinam nityam.
Veda vinashinam nityam.
Yaenam ajamavyayam.
Yaenam ajamavyayam.
Katam sapurusha parta.
Katham sapurusha partha.
Kam gatayati hantikam.
Kam gatayati hantikam.
And it seems to be very much connected to verse number 19. The same Ubauto na vijanitaha nayam hanti nanyate is neither kills nor causes anybody to be killed. This same line, how and whom will he cause to be killed? Katam sapurusha parta kam gatayati hantikam. So here there seems to be some repetition. And punarukti dosha. There's Adi Shankaracharya, when he comments on this particular verse, he says that why is Shri Krishna saying the same thing again and again? When you went to primary school and your mother gave pumpkin and roti to eat, or baigan and roti, or bhaji, and you didn't eat it, how much time she tell you about eating it? Until you eat it? Just check your lunch bag every day to see if you eat it. If it is that you're suffering from some lifestyle disease and you're going to the doctor, and every time you go to the doctor, your blood sugar reading 500. He say, but what it is you're doing? It means that there's no change in your lifestyle. So here as well, when he looks at Arjuna, he understands that even though he's giving him this highest knowledge, he doesn't understand. Or he also understands how forgetful. In one of our texts, it says, Na pramaditavyam. Man is forgetful by nature. I tell you, yesterday I come into satsang and I walk in with my Gita, I reach here, me and no Gita. And it's Gita I talking on. How much time you put down your key and you can't find where your key is afterwards? Or you're lucky the house couldn't move. And that's by nature, and Krishna understands this as a teacher. So that's why repetition is there. He is saying here that the same points that was covered before, this soul is imperishable, it's eternal, it's free from birth and decay, vinasham. And the word vinasham here is quite interesting. Where am I? Yeah. Veda vinashanam nityam ya enam ajamavyayam. He said katam sapurusha parta. And he calls him Partha. He says, think Partha, son of Pritha, about this knowledge. And it's very interesting when somebody calls you by your mother's or father's name. You know, if somebody ever called me by my son of so-and-so, I mean, boy, get yourself in order. And it's true, that's what Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna here. He says, you are the son of Kunti. Understand that this thing is supposed to be easily understandable for you. And same way, we are Amritasya Putraha. We are children of the Rishis. So this same knowledge is supposed to be very much applicable and relevant to us. But here, two particular things are being identified when the word Kam Gatayati and Hantikam. Kam Gatayati means cause to be slain. So as the Atma, you can't cause anybody to be slain, and you can't Hantikam, you can't kill anybody. And as the Atma as well, you can perform no direct action, or you can not perform an indirect action. The Atma is so much removed. You know, sometimes you go to an office and you see everything happening there. And you don't see the boss anyway. Because things are there in place for things to happen how they are run, how it is. And you watch in an office somewhere high up, 2-3 stories up, because it's a big building. And he's there. And he's just there. He's not getting involved in the operation of the company per se. And here, the Atma is being identified as that which doesn't get involved. It's not the cause of any particular action happening. He says, so, I myself as the Atma doesn't perform any particular action. So one thing is that I can go and I can steal something. Here watching and I go buy a mango tree and I peel down a mango and I run fast. Julie mango. So the Atma doesn't get involved like things like that. The Atma doesn't go and steal no Julie mango. Or the Atma also doesn't get involved in any world war as well. The Atma is just there. Right? And also the Atma doesn't cause anything to happen. You never any class and choke in him so and say, take that thing from that fella now. Put that in the bag or something. Put that on the couch by his seat. So, one is that you directly do the action, and the other you cause the action to happen. It says the Atma doesn't do the action, doesn't get involved in doership. You as well, whenever you seemingly perform an action, I am not the doer. Or, I am not in some way the inspiration behind this thing to happen. As when I identify with the Atma. See, when I am the doer, I'm also called the Karta. And when I am the Karta, there's karma that is done. Karta, doer, karma, actions. The karma phala, the results of that. Punya karma, which is the positive results. And Papa karma. So anyhow, if I attribute to the Atma in its most subtlest, what we talk about Atma, because Atma is used for that Jiva Atma as well, that individual soul, as if when we talk about the Atma, we talk about the highest, the most subtlest behind the universe. The most subtlest doesn't get involved. Ishvara as well doesn't get involved in anything that happens in your interactions. He says because then what will happen is that the Atma will become doer and the Atma will become enjoyer. And there is no doership and enjoyership in the self. And this understood creates a big shift in the way that we interact in the world. So when I said Atma is a Karta. The Atma doesn't do anything when you sit in your meditation. And I also don't do anything. Never do I do. Even if I seem to be doing anything, there is no doership in me in the most subtlest form of my being. Shri Krishna Sharanam Nama Shri Krishna Sharanam Nama Shri Krishna Sharanam Nama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Samsi Jnana Yajna Vihaya Navani Grinnati Naroparam Tata Sharirani Vihaya Jirnani Anyani Sanyani Navani Dehi Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Krishna Chandra Bihari Lal ki. So, coming from that most absolute standpoint, Krishna is on the, what is the tallest building? I don't know. How much floors up? Well, he up there. Whether it's the, I don't want to call no name on no hotel, advertise for nobody, anything. So he's on the highest floor, right? Highest high size. Just take your mind today. And then he comes down to Arjuna's level. Arjuna rock bottom. Lowest level. You know, sometimes that's also very instructive for life as well. Sometimes you feel we're on cloud 9. And then some by -9. But Shri Krishna comes down to -9, and that's the glory of a teacher as well. The teacher looks at your face and he's able to tell, this fella is -90 now. Let me tell him something about his, or the work he doing, or something to tell him he looking good or something. Even though he may not be looking good, to just make him feel good about himself. So here, Shri Krishna has left that highest standpoint to come to tell Arjuna about something that is very relative. But because it's something that we identify with so often, is the way that we operate in the world. You say, like Shri Krishna had to say in which Trini language, nah? He say, I'll leave home just now. And Trini go say, yeah boy, right? So I just leave home. He say, change your clothes and thing. He said, yeah, just change up and I put on some pretty dandan and thing and come to the satsang. He said, same way as you change your clothes, and you come here, and when you go back now, you won't sleep in your kurta. Hopefully not. You won't sleep in your kurta, you come to the satsang, which you go back and you change. Same way, that which enlivens the body as the jiva, which carries the impressions of your last life, which also carries your mind and intellect, which is called antakarna in technical Vedanta. That is what leaves at the time when, there's a very nice word for this in Trini language, when you kick the bucket. Here, Krishna is talking about the fact of when you kick the bucket. Wherever I go and I see a bucket, I walk in the next direction. Because just the mere, but that's also an interesting statement. And I don't know where it came from. But here, they're saying that just as a man casts off, right? Vasamsi Jirnani Yatavihaya. Just as he worn out clothes, right? The clothes for Vasamsi is clothes. Jirnani, the worn out clothes, Yatavihaya, having cast out. So you just imagine you're lighting diyas for the Pavali and your kurta will burn. So like, I can't wait again, just throw it out. But you're in your house, you have your mother, your grandmother, or somebody there, and they say, oh God, the child like a buy one for him again. So you know one coming, right? So you throw out the old one, and you throw it away for them to hear. And you're keeping it by the back door to throw away, because you know it has sale somewhere for the valley, all these trade fairs come down. So you're keeping that you're keeping it there, but just now you're really willing to push it out by the garbage. But it has some little value for you still, so you're still keeping it close by. It says that same way, what an individual does is he uses his body until it has value. Then he drops it. When Ottabavanji Maharaj left his body, he wrote a beautiful letter. And he says, so long Ishvara has been knocking by my door. Come home, come home, come home. To return to my supreme true nature. And I have been telling him, hold on, I have some things to do. But now I go back there. There's also this principle of giving up that which is old and taking up that which is new is something we practice. In everything in our lives we practice it. So why do we have this sense of fear? One is fear. The other is, why do we have this sense of attachment when it comes to something like our body? Because maybe we haven't analyzed the workings of the world. And he's saying here that, and when I started this evening to speak on Puja Gurudeva, one of his first talks was, let us be Hindus. And if there's one thing that stands out as being a Hindu ideology, it's the theory of Punarjanma and Purva Janma. Punarjanma is that when you finish here, you go somewhere else. And you're here right now, and with the mere fact that you're here right now, you came from somewhere else, from a physical space. In the same way, your equipments that you use right now to interact in the world was somewhere else. And just like when you go to a hotel, you pack up your suitcase and you move. Same way, one day you'll have to pack up the suitcase and go. आए भी अकेला जाए भी अकेला दो दिन की जिंदगी है दो दिन का मेला 2 days. Look at given here very beautifully in the Gita. He says you're here for some time and you go. You know what, this is very, very stark. You go to Banaras and you're eating your dosa and on the side of the road drinking your chai. I still remember doing it too, so I could tell you. I just spit in my mouth here. Ram Ram Satya hai. They walk with a corpse right next to where you're eating. And it's a part of life. And the sooner we come to terms with our own mortality, we live a happier life. Because you realize that life is much more precious than. And I'm going to challenge you to something today. Go home today and think today is your very last day. And write on a sheet of paper what is important to you. The founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, he was diagnosed with cancer. And he went over and he says the doctor told him to put his affairs in order. Doctor terminology, that is a sweet word to say go home and die. Get ready to leave. And he said when he looked at his life, he realized how much little things mattered more than the things that we make important in life. And we'll need to see this, continue seeing this tomorrow.